Welcome back. February is Heart Month, which is a great reminder for all of us to check in on our own cardiovascular health. Back in 2015, one of our favorite Seattle Seahawks wide receiver, Tyler Lockett, was diagnosed with a heart condition while at the NFL Combine. Well, since then, he's worked to raise awareness around heart health and has launched a new T-shirt to support Virginia Mason Franciscan Health's Healthy Heart Fund.
The heart of a champion begins in the mind. When it comes to the T-shirt that we designed, we wanted it to be something that was going to be meant for everyone. When it comes to heart health, it's very important, and we want everybody to be able to relate to it, to be attached to it.
And I recently had the chance to chat with Tyler and Dr. Gopi Dandamudi from Virginia Mason Franciscan Health's Center for Cardiovascular Health about this initiative. I'm going to start with Tyler. You know, we all know that your heart is all in for football, but I understand that you have a huge passion for heart health. Where does that come from?
Well, I think a lot of it just kind of came from me entering the NFL Combine, going through a lot of the meetings and having to do a lot of exams at the hospital. And they kind of found during one of my EKGs and stuff that like my aorta was on the opposite side of where it normally is supposed to be. So luckily I was able to continue to pursue my passions and dreams, and I'm still here now.
But obviously you didn't forget how scary that was, waiting to hear if there was something wrong. And I think anytime something happens with our heart, even when we have a palpitation, we're like, what's going on? And so Dr. Dandamudi, February is Heart Month, the time that we are reminded to take care of our ticker. What advice would you give patients to maintain a healthy heart?
So one of the things that we tell, just like Tyler got combine screening and so on, is knowing your own numbers. I mean, you can simply get your blood pressure at a local CVS or document your own blood pressures, knowing what your cholesterol numbers are, knowing what your weight is, what should be your ideal weight. Are you obese? If you're obese, what are the things you can do to reduce your chances of getting heart disease, for example, whether it be palpitations or chest pain or things that lead to what happened to recently, like for Damar having a cardiac arrest or a heart attack. If you give the same amount of attention you give to other things in your life, I think you're already ahead in the game when it comes to your health.
And don't ignore anything, right? Like if something feels off.
Right.
Tyler, part of your Healthy Heart fundraiser with Virginia Mason Franciscan Health is this cool T-shirt. And it says, "The heart of a champion begins in the mind." What does this quote mean to you?
Well, I think that, you know, just with being able to have an opportunity to come up with something like that, it kind of made me think about what does it mean to be a champion? And a lot of people think it's through performance. A lot of people think it's through the work ethic and just all these numerous amount of things. But when you look at the foundation of where it all starts, I think it just starts really in the mind, because you have to be able to decide to get up and do those things. But you got to be able to be the person that looks out for yourself when nobody else looks out for you. There's a numerous amount of things that play into being able to look after yourself, especially when it comes to heart health, such as just the foods that we eat, or when it comes to exercising, you know, just a lot of different types of things, anxieties, all that type of stuff that we could be able to do where we love structure. We need to allow some type of structure to be taking place where maybe we wake up, we meditate. Maybe we wake up, we start eating some healthy food, start being able to have a schedule where we start to work out. We start finding different things to be able to do. And before you know it, a champion is not only when you win something or whenever you're able to perform at a high level, but it's just being able to achieve whatever goal it is that you set out to achieve that day.
Being mindful of that and mindful of these things. It's so true. Dr. Dandamudi, the funds from this fundraiser will be supporting the work at the Center for Cardiovascular Health at Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. Can you share some of the interesting work and new technologies that are being done there right now?
Sure. And I think it's important for people to realize in our healthcare systems, we're a nonprofit healthcare system. So we actually heavily rely on these kinds of funds to expand our research and all our initiatives that we take in the community to serve our own communities. Some of the exciting things we're doing, we're using artificial intelligence to assess patients to see who can we predict will be at a higher likelihood of having cardiac events, for example, and so spending more time on identifying those kinds of patients. Also building some other programs. One of the things that we're building, and we actually have a large program now, is a program on what's called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. It's, again, something along the lines of what Tyler has experienced with a congenital heart problem, where this happens usually in younger athletic people who have suddenly or playing and suddenly collapse because they have cardiac arrest. That's been a big focus for us in the past 2 years or so, is to serve those patients, specifically helping them identify what their risks are in the future, whether they can play sports carefully, not just them, but also their family members and so on.
Oh my gosh, we've all seen those stories and they are so heart-wrenching. So thank goodness for the work that you're doing there. Remind our viewers how they can get involved, help out, but make sure they get this t-shirt too.
Right. So that t-shirt can be actually, I think, Seahawks.com/heart. People can go and order those t-shirts. And just being part of your community, understanding what are your healthcare systems in your community. For example, ours, Virginia Mason Franciscan Health.
And I just think that it's important for us to be able to bring more awareness before experience tries to get us to start learning from the very get-go. Hopefully any viewers or anybody that's listening to this will be able to want to be able to have a chance to support, as well as just making that decision that, you know what, I'm going to try to eat healthy today, and I'm going to just let it be a process. I'm going to get up out my bed. I'm going to go work out. If I choose not to go somewhere to work out, I can still work out in the house. I can go in the backyard, just something to be able to get us up and be active, even if it's just walking. I just hope that anybody that's listening to this can just make a conscious decision just to be able to choose to get better than they were the day before.
All right, so to learn more about how you can get the t-shirt that we saw there, visit the website on your screen, Seahawks.com/heart. You can also support by making a donation at checkout at your local Safeway from February 10th to the 14th. Proceeds support the work at the Center for Cardiovascular Health at Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. I mean, seriously, how cool is this t-shirt? All right, well, prepare to get inspired. When we come back, a local artist is showing off her unique style of creating art using a very unique substance. We'll explain when we come back.
This portion of New Day Northwest is sponsored by Virginia Mason Franciscan Health.
A lot of people